Welcome to another episode of Characters to Fight Your DM with. So, this is Zero. Now, you're wondering, is this a Thundercat? The answer is 100% yes. This dude is only Thundercat all day, every day, always. Warforged, and he wears a suit of armor that punches you with thunder. Literally a big metal lion that punches you with thunder. He's a Thundercat. Now, the ridiculous thing about this character is frontline melee fighter has a -1 strength and a -1 dex, right? That sounds insane. Why are you doing this? That was kind of my goal. I was sitting there one day, I was saying, can I make like a melee class? Can I make a character that has 8 strength and 8 dex, but is really good in frontline combat? And I did that. We're going to go over and see why. And it's going to be one of the most ridiculous builds you might ever see for Dungeons and Dragons, because we're a Paladin Artificer. Stay with me. So you start Paladin because you get all the proficiencies, right? All armor, shields, simple weapons, martial weapons, wisdom, charisma, they're really good. You know, persuasion, religion, the charisma side of the class is right here in Paladin. You get divine sense, really strong ability to have. You can use it a number of times. You will 1+ your charisma modifier. Then when you finish a long rest, you gain all uses. So if you just want to find celestials, fiends for undead, very much just hunting down the evildoer. Lay on hands. So you get to heal yourself a little bit, which is super dope, right? And then when we take a look at additional Paladin spells, you get Gentle Repose, Prayer of Healing, Warding Bond. Level 3 gets, third level you get Spirit Shroud. I don't know if we're going to reach that though. So spellcasting 2nd level. And we're going to take a look. You get the basics Paladin spell list. And the basic Paladin spell list is just really good. You get Shield, I'm pretty sure, out of that. You get a lot of defensive ones. But you get like Zone of Truth. I think you get useful like role play stuff and survivability stuff. I think you get like Purified Food and Water. We'll double check and go over that. But you also get Smite. So this is going to be a big feature of the class, is smiting your foes with your fists. So Harness Divine Power, right? Melee weapon attack. Okay. So Harness Divine Power. You can use your Channel Divinity to fuel your spells as a bonus action. Touch your holy symbol. You gain 1 expended spell slot. Really, really cool. Divine Health. So 3rd level, you're immune to disease. Sacred Oath. You're going to take Oath of Vengeance. And it's because of your Channel Divinity. Abjure enemy. As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer of denunciation using your Channel Divinity. Choose a creature within 60 feet you can see. It must make a wisdom saving throw unless it's immune to being frightened. Fiends and undead have disadvantage on this throw. Failed save, the creature's frightened for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Successful save, its speed is halved for 1 minute or until the creature takes damage. Vow of Enmity. As a bonus action, you can utter Vow of Enmity against a creature you can see within 10 feet of you using your Channel Divinity. You gain advantage on attack rolls against the creature for 1 minute or until it drops to 0 hit points or falls unconscious. Right? So you could just choose you. I'm advantaging against you. Right? Oath spells. Bane, Hunter's Mark. You get some cool stuff. But Artificer. So the big thing about Artificer, you get a bunch of proficiencies. You have like the D8, that's pretty decent. That's like Warlock, I think. Spell casting, infuse items, right? You get to have your infusions we're going with. Increase armor by +1, +2 if you're once you get to 10th level on Artificer. Arcane Focus for casting is better. Repeating shot, returning weapon. You can choose whatever you want. There's a few different options. These are just generic basic ones. And plus, if you don't need them yourself, put these on your party, right? So put those in your party. Now, we do have level 3. You choose Armor, right? So Armor is going to be your specialist, right? And then armor modifications function almost like a second skin. Now, magic missile, thunder wave, arcane armor. So you hit level 3 in Artificer, your armor like fuses with your body, which is perfect for Warforged. It becomes like a second skin, right? Iron Man stuff. If it normally has a strength requirement, the arcane armor lacks it for me, right? So we have an 8 strength, but we can wear plate armor. That's what's nuts. 8 strength, but we can wear plate armor. You can use the armor as a spellcasting focus for your Artificer spells. Fantastic. It attaches, you can't be removed against my will. Expands to cover my entire body, although I can retract or deploy the helmet as a bonus action. The armor replaces any missing limbs, functioning identically to a limb it replaces. So in case we get blown up, no worries. Like, that doesn't stop us. We are like the Terminator of God, and we're a holy Terminator, right? Great. So, and then it continues to be arcane armor until you don another suit of armor or I die, right? Now, we chose Guardian because Guardian gets Thunder Gauntlets. Each gauntlet counts as a simple melee weapon if I'm not holding anything, and it deals a D8 of thunder damage on a hit. So we punch people for a D8 of thunder. We can blow apart walls. Like, that's the other side, is thunder damage, I think, does double against items and constructs most of the time. So say there's a brick wall, you can punch that brick wall, you're doing like 2d8 thunder damage. You're destroying that wall super fast. You're just punching your way through everything. Then start of your next turn, distracting pulse on the creatures to attack someone else. Oh, sweet. So a creature hit by the gauntlet has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you until the start of my next turn. So this is where you become the main tank. You get that person's attention, you punch them. If they try to go after somebody else, they have disadvantage, so they want to attack you. They're like disoriented and they can't really focus straight unless they're attacking you. That's perfect for this character. That's what you're trying to do. Defensive field is a bonus action. You can gain temporary hit points equal to your level in Artificer, replacing any temp hit points you already have. And then let's see. You can use this a number of times equals to proficiency bonus. You gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest, right? So you give yourself an extra 3, 4, 6, however much extra HP it is, that still takes a hit for you, right? And then later on, you get an ability score improvement, go to Int and Charisma. And you'll see I will even that out, and then extra attack at level 5, so you can punch twice. And remember, like, you can punch with your main and then punch with your offhand if you want, and that offhand will just not deal your modifier. But the cool part about all this is that when you have this armor, when you hit with your punches, you use your intelligence modifier to attack instead of strength or dex. So you wear this armor, you throw a punch, people are like, oh, you don't have a lot of strength, you're not going to hit. No, you're using your int, and your int is up at 18. So with that background, Knight of the Order, you know, you're a big knight, you get Arcana and Nature. This was just because it was kind of useful, but it was funny. Like, imagine a really righteous, like, all gas, no brakes, like, aha, I love God and saving people. And then, like, what is your side stuff? Well, you have a pan flute, and you're like a very, like, classical knight. You're trained in pure combat and then a bit of poetry. That was what knights were trained as, and that's who you are. You're just a big old hunky-dory knight of God, right? Great stuff. Now, knightly regard. You receive shelter and succor from members of your knightly order and those who are sympathetic to its aims. If your order is a religious one, you can gain aid from temples and other religious communities of your deity. Knights of civic orders can get help from the community, whether a lone settlement or a great nation. Right, so knightly regard. You receive shelter and succor from members of your knightly order and those who are sympathetic to its aims. If your order is a religious one, you can gain aid from temples and other religious communities of your deity. Knights of civic orders can help from the community, whether a lone settlement or a great nation that they serve. And knights of philosophical orders can find help from those they have aided in pursuits of their ideals and those who share those ideals. So you can just literally just run around and be good guy Greg. That's what this dude is. This help comes in the form of shelter and meals and healing when appropriate, as well as occasionally risky assistance, such as band of local citizens rallying to aid a sorely pressed knight in a fight, or those who support the order helping to smuggle a knight out of town when he or she is being hunted unjustly, right? Really nice. Now, I don't know if I went in. Okay, yeah, lawful good for sure. Like, this dude is lawful good. Doesn't do a bad thing ever. Faith of Helm. We'll have to take a peek at that. Modest lifestyle. You know, there's nothing wrong with sitting on a comfortable chair. And then, perfect. Sweet. Now, species Warforged. But we just have our thing saying our Warforged has his face shaped like a lion, right? That's easy roleplay stuff. You take a point to con score and intelligence score and alignment, but size you're medium, because you're a regular dude, right? Let's see here. Then constructed resilience. You have advantage on saving throws against poison. You have resistance to poison damage. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, so you can go underwater. You can be in space, like you can be anywhere, and you are like an unstoppable terminator of justice, like a good guy. You're immune to disease. You don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep, right? Like really mega resistances here. When you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state rather than sleeping. But in this state, you appear inert, but it does not render you unconscious, and you can see and hear as normal, which is cool because, like, say you need someone to watch, you can always cover every watch at night. And if something happens, you just jump in and you're like, danger, danger, Will Robinson. Everyone wakes up and then you start a fight and you're just ready to go. So we got integrated protection. You get +1 to your AC. You can only don armor, which you have a proficiency, but it must incorporate to your body, right? Similar to our magic armor. So this is very overlapping with choosing the guardian armor for our artificer choices. Specialized design, take investigation. You can take whatever you want. I took calligrapher supplies because, like, he's a knight of a holy order. He has a pan flute. He's going to write some like pretty poetry with some like simple drawings in the name of God, the name of nature, right? This is good stuff. And I think, like, Celestial's appropriate for him because he's a big old holy knight of God. Now we take a look here, and you pretty much put everything in a Constitution, Intelligence, Charisma. Get your Constitution, your Charisma up to 16, and then we're going to go hard into an Intelligence until it's 20. That's the goal there. And then we look at our equipment. You don't really need much. You just need plate armor. Shield's nice too. But then we take a look at the character sheet, and this is where we go. So for being level 8, right, you got 22 armor class, and you have 71 HP, 30 movement speed, passive investigation is 17. So you're just very much like super holy Batman guy, right? Maybe more like, Captain America, because you got a shield and you're punching people with your power fists. It's really great. When you're looking at your spells you take first, you do want to get Firebolt. It's a really great cantrip. Large range, good damage, but you want Shocking Grasp. Because Shocking Grasp will be your damage melee ability until you get your gauntlets. And so what's really nice about this is the legacy version says if target is wearing a metal armor, you have advantage. The newer version removes that part. Talk with your DM about which one you want or why. But it's really good. 2d8 advantage. It's going to hit pretty often. Most things are wearing like metal armor or have some sort of metal buckle on them at the very least, so you can probably make the argument a lot. But the cool part is once you get your Thunder Gauntlets, you're going to be able to smite with your Thunder Gauntlets. You're hitting using your intelligence modifier. So and plus you can choose advantage being a Vengeance Paladin, right? So you're hitting people, you're punching them then into the dirt. You've got 22 armor class. So you're resistant to poison. You have advantage on poison saves. You're immune to disease. You're immune to magical sleep. what else is there? Like, this is just pure raw. You know, your DM looks at your character sheet and says, wait, -1 strength, -1 dex. This doesn't make any sense. Then you get into combat and you are trucking the boss while like not taking any damage and never getting hit. Plus, you're just a really fun, good guy, Greg. So you're not pissing off anyone in your party. Like, your party's going to love you. And I think that's a big theme. Make these characters that fight your DM, the best thing you want to do is have the party on your side and have the party love your character. So don't make a character that fights the DM and fights your party. Make a character that fights the DM, but integrates and is loved by the party, because they'll go out of their way to protect them. And if your DM gets grouchy, you'll be like, nah, he's just playing a fun character, dude. Don't worry about it. But you're non-hittable, you're trucking people, and then you're just like immune to everything. So you're just unstoppable force of good, right? And then that's who Zero is, right? Very much just this super happy Thundercats go. You got a big old shield. You're just having a good old time, man. And look, he's just here. He's got his power suit. He's a holy Batman Iron Man mixture that just everybody's gonna love, except your DM, because you're gonna be unhittable and trucking everything, right? But give me a follow, like, comment, subscribe. If you have a class you'd like to see, if you have a build idea you'd like me to see, like make kind of busted, say you want to see, I don't know, Lizard Folk Ice Mage, I'll figure it out. We'll get something going. But just leave me that comment and we'll make more content for you. Other than that, enjoy your games, be happy, get some loot, dudes.